Hello, Goddess, and welcome to this week's Twin Flame Tuesday, which, I'm not sure about you, but in my world, it just feels like things feel like a haze. You know, the end of this last week, just, what am I saying? So much of this, so much of this shift, right? You feel discombobulated, you feel out of body, you feel very, very out of body. And I've been very much feeling that lately, this whole out of body. Well, what is that indicative of? First and foremost, it is indicative that you are shifting, you are changing, you are transforming, your cells are rearranging, right? You're recalibrating into something better than what you were before, right? And we have a role in that. We have a role in that. In particular, how are you treating yourself during this? Huh? Because how you are treating yourself is exactly how your counterpart would treat you or is treating you. Right? My name is Rachelle. Welcome to my channel here at Empowerment Experiences, where we are healing twin flames, looking for and finding our power all along this, which is our self-love empowerment journey, because that is what a twin flame journey is. A self-love empowerment journey on steroids. Everything begins and ends with you, Goddess. Everything. And there has been resistance in myself with regard to where I'm being called to move forward in my coaching, in my teaching, in this healing twin flames aspect. And by being led, it's definitely a place that I was led into and then I pulled back from. And then we go, right? We do this. We kind of go, yes, I'm ready for this. And then, oh my gosh, when we get into it, they're like, oh my goodness, I don't know, I'm doing it wrong, or maybe it's the wrong thing. We start overthinking things, right? And our ego cuts in and starts to dismantle and dissect everything. And eventually, we end up in a space of going, I don't know, right? It's because we're in that gap. We're not following forward, but we're no longer who we were. And that is the very thing that is going to facilitate this out of body experience. This I don't know is the not following it forward. And again, for me, Goddess, especially this twin flame thing, the twin flame trap is a real thing, especially for me, having been a self-love empowerment coach, discovering herself to be on a twin flame journey. And I believe me, sister, I wish I wasn't. I'll tell you that right now. I wish I was not on a twin flame journey. I was perfectly content where I was. I had my vision all figured out. It was just going to be me in a house full of cats, and I was, quite frankly, perfectly okay with that. As far as I knew, there wasn't anything missing in my life. Yeah. So here we are, more than 3 years later, after meeting my counterpart online. It will be, again, 3 years in January that I actually flew to the other side of the world to meet him in person for the first time. Yeah. For the first and only time ever. That said, obviously there's some things being worked on in terms of my vision when we get redirected, because that's the thing, is the universe will redirect us. And the reality, quote unquote, reality of it is that we are the ones who create our suffering by resisting that redirection, by holding on to something that wasn't meant for us. Whether it's a vision, it's a job, it's a car, it's an outfit even, whatever it is. It's really recognizing that this attachment aspect, when we are attached to anything, attachment is of the ego. And that is one of the biggest grandest challenges of the twin flame journey. Aside from overcoming the illusion of separation, it is overcoming this ego attachment that we have with our counterparts. And it takes a lot of delayering. Again, I reiterate, I'm so grateful I was already a self-love empowerment coach before I found out I was a twin flame as well. Because quite honestly, I don't know how a lot of you do it. Not having really the foundation or the tools that I do have, because I find it challenging enough to navigate this journey, even with the tools and with the wisdom and understanding that I possess. That said, I am here for you, sister. I am here to provide clarity, to offer guidance and support, and all things that I have in my arsenal to assist you in navigating this excruciating journey, right? That said, why don't we find out what we have to know today? Like I said, I know for me, there's been a lot of things that have been being cleared out and purged in my connection. And I can very much see how this happens often in connections. Wow. Goddess. Is that we think we've completed the separation phase. It's been brief, it's been short, and we do our best to control how that looks. And we think we got a hang of it. We think we got to handle it. We think he's doing his work too. We got it all figured out, and then boom, we fall back into the contrast, which is simply the opportunity for us to grow stronger in our knowing of the lesson that was originally presented by that which is in that contrast. However, sometimes, right, we get a little stuck in that quicksand, in that mud, and we forget who we truly are. I mean, it's okay. It's okay to forget, because here's the thing. You chose to forget when you incarnated in here. So when you fall back into that space of forgetting the power that you possess, that which you truly are, and you fall back into that victim mentality, the powerlessness, the I don't know, I don't know what to do, I can't. You can feel that energy. You can feel that chaos. Ask yourself, Goddess, when you're in that space, ask yourself, what would the Goddess version, what would the Goddess in me do in this situation? How would she show up? How would she respond? And that's very much where we are right now. When you're in that space of you don't know what he's doing, he's not communicating with you, or perhaps, you have recognized that the best solution is to cut those physical ties right now. Because perhaps they are, again, in an addiction space, and they're not doing what they need to do for themselves, and they keep coming back into your life and sucking that energy from you. You can't allow that, Goddess. That's an energy vampire. And yes, our counterparts can be an energy vampire, just as all empaths can become transient energy vampires. When we are not honoring ourselves, the power within us, that which we truly are as energetic beings, and recognizing that we need to take time for ourselves. We need to disconnect. We need to get clear right? Maintain clarity, gain clarity, and maintain clarity over what's my energy and what's everybody else's energy, right? And that's the other thing about being a goddess, is you are going to know who you are, what power you possess. You're going to be clear on that. When you are in this version of you, that true you. Well, bust a move, goddess, bust a move. That's definitely one of the major, I mean, this comes up so much when talking about shifting your energy, stepping into your power, being the excuse me, I got so many burps right now, really amplifying this right here. And here's a yawn too. Oh my goodness. Because right now, it's time to just put on some of your favorite songs. I know, like the club songs from back in the day. I don't know if you're like me, you have a back in the day when you were getting ready to go to the club and you was putting on your makeup and your little get up and you was getting ready. You were getting ready for the party, right? You were starting the party already to go out to another party. So put that music on where you're, you know, bouncing around, doing your thing, right? So do that, because that is the very thing. Dancing, taking delight in the little things. I know, oh, sweet goddess, I know right now the challenge being presented when you feel like you're just going to completely fall apart. And you find it so challenging to see any of the good. You may even reach a point where it's challenging to see any of the good in your counterpart because you get so frustrated after so long. But that's the other reason why you've got to get off the subject. That's kind of why I put mine on block. Because the cycle needed to be broken. And quite honestly, I felt as though I had tried, those who know me know how I feel about that word, but and that word too, but I felt as though I had put forth the action that I could, yet was unable to achieve the change that I was seeking. And therefore I had to do something different to create a different result. And it can be challenging. It can be so challenging to feel good about something that feels like such a painful and hard decision. And I don't like to use the word hard either. Challenging opportunity for growth. However, when you are following the trail of delight, to raise your vibration, to feel good about yourself, to feel even just better, maybe not even good, but to feel better, right? To feel more empowered, is to start looking at the little things in your experience that you can be grateful for. What can you be thankful for? What can you actually take delight in? The little things. The little things. Oh my goodness, we're having a thing with the cards today. Trust. Because it is about trusting your journey. It's about trusting yourself. And I know right now it can feel so challenging when, again, there's such discombobulation in the twin flame community. I keep my distance for the most part anymore, it seems, because again, there's just so much. And I know that I'm being called to stay in my own lane, as it's said. And that's it. You know, I have a mission, and I'm here to listen to my soul calling and to fulfill my mission. And everybody else do what they're here to do. But that's what this is about. It's about trusting your journey, about trusting your soul's calling. Even when it's a redirection, when it's a, you know what it says, you know the saying, the meme says that, you know, when you don't get what you think you want, it's because something better is on the way. And it's, again, learning to trust. Learning to trust. The objective, that your responsibility is, what do you want to experience? What do you want to be feeling? What do you want to feel? You see, we create the visions that we create, the dreams that we draw up. We create because we feel that that dream is going to cultivate these particular kinds of feelings within us. So what we're actually after isn't the vision. It's how we're going to feel in that vision. And there comes a time when you finally realize that you've got to let go of the control of what it looks like and focus on what it feels like. Because that's your job, goddess. What does it feel like? That's what the feminine is. We are feelers. We feel. So what does it feel like to be a goddess? What does it feel like in whatever vision you have, union with your divine masculine? Whether it's, you know, the dream car, your dream job, your dream house, your dream life, period. What does it feel like? When you're creating your vision, goddess, I encourage you to, yes, of course, write out the surface of the vision, meaning the things of it. The car, the job, the place you're going to go, where you're going to live, all of those things, like those details, okay? But then go beneath that and ask yourself, who am I? How do I feel about myself, about my life, about my career, about my car, my any of it? How does it feel? And then work back from there, right? This is the dancing, the taking delight in and trusting the journey, because you are a goddess, a powerful, powerful goddess. And when you really, truly get control over you, then you are a fully empowered goddess. And that's the thing, is to be empowered over you. So that especially when your divine masculine comes back, or anybody comes into your life, that you are able to maintain your center of balance energetically, that you're not thrown off balance. And I've mentioned this before. I'm seeing, remember the little punching guys? Back in the day, we had these blow up, the vinyl blow ups where it had the weight at the bottom, and you would punch it and it would bounce. It would just, like a pendulum, right? Bounce back and forth. And I'm not even sure in that moment why I had to share that visual. But yeah, moving on. I'm gonna point out really quick that this is very much coming up. There's a lot of this being purged. There's been so much of this being purged from the collective. You can imagine humanity in all its trauma and all its torturing and all that which has been done for millennia being pent up in the collective. And then, of course, your own anger. Here's the thing about anger, though, goddess, and I've mentioned this before, is you must express it. You must be the one to facilitate the healthy expression of this, which, if not expressed, will will create a toxic environment within you. And that toxicity will explode onto others in moments when you really would rather not. And this is why it is your responsibility, especially as a goddess, as a leader, it is your responsibility to take responsibility for your state of being, for your feelings, to ensure that you don't blow up on someone else, especially needlessly. Right? So I really truly challenge you, Goddess. Another challenge, because that's why I do these empowerment messages, is the intention of these messages isn't for you to just come and listen at what I'm bringing forth, but for you to take from this, bring your pen and paper, bring your journal when you come to hear these empowerment messages, Goddess, because it is my intention when something comes through in terms of coaching or guidance in that respect, for you to reclaim more of your power on your journey, to feel more empowered, more like the goddess rising that you are, then that's the intention here. I encourage you to write these things down, come back to these videos, play them again. You're even welcome to, comment it really quick below if there's a certain question. I don't care. Plus I want you to comment anyway. I do care that you comment, because I would really, really love to hear from you always, what speaks to you, what resonates with you, what doesn't. I want to hear it all right? That said, we have the Work Your Light cards, and I know, like I said, I'm just in this discombobulation, out of body space, but at the same time, wow. But at the same time, this is what I love. And looky here. Clearly, we are being asked to dance. And what is so interesting, so divinely aligned, is that this past Saturday was the first goddess party for this month, which I run 2 a month for sure, every month, a Saturday party and a Friday party. And clearly I didn't dance enough. I have to admit that it was a long night the night before, a long day, and by the party I didn't have a whole lot of groove in me. I did my best. Normally I dance the entire 2 hours, 2 to 2.5 hours that we do this party. However, Goddess, I'm here to tell you, you want to shift how you feel. You want to feel better, because that's what this is about. It is about how you feel. And when you feel, and this I want to point out, when you're processing through things, you feel like shit, and you're being given the opportunity to raise your vibration, like to come to the goddess party, even with it being just online, but your little mean girl is like, no, I don't want to see anybody. I don't want to feel better. That's really what she's saying, is I don't want to feel better. I am comfortable feeling like shit. That's when you have to be the one to say, oh, no. And facilitate your feeling better. Just say yes. Just say yes. And you know what? I trust, I surrender, I say yes. That is one of my all-time favorite mantras. I trust, I surrender, I say yes. Especially when, and again, as I say, especially when you feel out of body, you feel out of sorts, life is changing faster than you can blink, and you just aren't quite sure. You're just not quite sure, period, right? You just don't know. And I honor that space, Goddess. I know that space. And that's when you come back to the goddess energy of what is the most loving thing I can do for myself in this moment. In that trusting and surrendering and saying yes to your journey, yes to being supported. What does that look like for you? Dancing? Huh? Curling up with your kitty on the couch and a hot cup of tea? I think I did that this morning. I was half awake and I woke up and I was just craving. I have some herbal teas. I usually like my black tea, black mixed with herbal, some kind. And I have this herbal tea that I've really kind of been loving because with the allergies, it's got some sweet and spicy to it. So it kind of opens my airways a bit. And I woke up, I was half asleep this morning. I got up out of bed and all I was thinking was, I want a cup of tea. I just want a cup of tea and sit on my couch with my babies. And that's exactly what I did. And it's almost feels like a dream, but I have the leftover cup of tea to prove that, empty cup that was not there when I went to bed. So I love that. And then I ended up falling back asleep. And we just love those things. But that's kind of what is happening here is when you, and I felt better. Oh, it was so nice to have that cup of tea. I do remember that part. That's why I'm like, was it a dream? Because it was really quite pleasant. But that's what it is to listen to your intuition and say yes. Just say yes. I was like, I wanted a cup of tea. I said yes, and I felt better, right? But that was, of course, after I woke up the second time, obviously, and whoa, purging some things, for sure. And for me, I can honestly say that I feel that was kind of my precursor, my warm up, like, all right, we're about to be purging through some things. So here, let's have a hot cup of tea. Let's sit with because my kitty girl, especially my pretty kitty girl, her fur is like silk. All right. She's so soft. I have so many people say that, like, oh my gosh, she's so, I'm like, I know, right? And she's very much on my lap when that sort of thing is going on. Yes. So that said, right now, Goddess, you are being asked to trust and surrender and say yes to the journey. Trust, surrender, and say yes to being supported by the universe, whatever that looks like. Like I said, that means to even get off the subject of things, especially your counterpart. And I know today is Twin Flame Tuesday, and of course, we're primarily talking about the Divine Feminine because that's who I'm talking to here, are my Divine Feminines who are looking for their power to rise and thrive on this journey, okay? And for well, apparently that was all that I needed to say on that, because I literally just kind of like I am explaining myself, I think, which is an ego thing to do. That said, Goddess, let's just find out what the Divine Masculine energy is revealing, or has to reveal to us currently right now, with regard to what the Divine Masculine wants to encourage us to do. There was this perfect question that I had from Super Sign Sunday. I'm gonna have to go back to that video and write that question down because it was such a perfect question. But right now, the Divine Masculine is looking at you for stability, right? And this means, again, for you to recognize your power to recalibrate yourself. That's what this dancing is all about, because when you're low vibration, you better believe so is he. Right? When you are stuck in these karmic cycles, so is he. Okay? And if to not, of course, be doing it for him, do it for you. Start to breathe more, Goddess. Start to surrender more. Start to trust more. Because this is the thing that alleviates that stress for you. Let me slide these over. I do like that it's right there, but it's right there. Okay. Right? So it's about, again, centering yourself, finding that balance within you, that stability, so you have a solid foundation. This is why I was saying, And why he's bringing this up for you is because if the two of you were to come together and neither one of you have a solid foundation in terms of having a grip, so to speak, over each your own energetic beings, then y'all are going to create this ricochet effect again, right? Where it's just going to be this, you're going to go right back into perpetuating this instability cycle within the connection. All right. So, Goddess, it's about that stability within you, in your life. If you feel uneasy, if you feel off kilter, wonky is a word we like to use in my world, if that's what you're feeling, then you're not ready for union with him. And that's the point here, is our higher selves, his higher self, your higher self, they're going to keep us apart. We agreed to all of this. It's because we got to release the lower frequency shit. We have to be taking control over this, especially. All right. What else does the divine masculine want us to look at in terms of the divine feminines leading this connection right now and feeling extremely discombobulated? Ooh, that prosperity is definitely on the way, already here, right? That's the thing, is prosperity is linked to abundance, and that's when you are stable, you are not coming from lack, right? There is nothing missing. You are in balance. You are anchored and stable, which means you're tuning in to this prosperity. You're tuning into abundance, because instability is the thing that's going to, again, it's linked to lack, right? Because you never have enough, which means you're unstable. There is no balance. It's off kilter. Okay, I'm like, there's more words, yet the words elude me. Elude is one of my favorite words to use, especially when other words are elusive. All right, so again, right now, prosperity, and he says to focus. So focus on you. Focus on this challenge that you are being presented with right now. Focus on becoming stable. Focus on recognizing that this is the only reason why the illusion of separation would be perpetuating, is because of that instability in you. You've got to know that no matter what he ever says and does, that you are 1000% perfectly capable and strong enough and empowered as the goddess that you are to stand tall and firm where you are. No matter what he's doing or where he is or what's going on. All right, so focus, because these are connected. Your prosperity is connected to that stability, right? So this is gonna, of course, feed into the dance, the bringing, again, that balance. If you are so focused on lack and being serious and depriving yourself of having fun, and holy moly, I just looked down and it was 3333 on my ticker here. That's amazing. So 3333. We are looking that up right now. Let's see here. 3333. Yeah, let's just look. All the way down. 3333. Let's just see. And what's intriguing is this was in my Dropbox 3 months ago. 333. 4 threes plus a third plus a fifth 3 that it was created, uploaded 3 months ago. So, wow, this number is spot on, goddess. Growing pains is the very first thing right up here. Growing pains. that is, of course, going to be this discombobulation, this out-of-body experience, right? You are going and growing, all right? And so right now you will experience growing pains. Be aware of the evil forces that seek to dim your light, because they do exist, right? It's no different than what they're saying in the twin flame community, that there's going to be evil that's going to attempt to keep you out of union with your counterpart. But it's being really discerning as to what exactly is implied by that. And when you recognize that twin flame union is comprised of and can only begin with you coming into union within, well, you better believe that evil is definitely going to keep you apart from your true power as a goddess, from your true knowing of the goddess that you are. So you see in that, being aware of the evil forces that seek to dim your light. Let's see here. Oh, humor and spontaneity. Okay, and it's of course ascended masters. All those threes. Yeah. Okay, but growing pains is definitely what 3333 is about. And, you know, again, as we're in the divine masculine message for this Twin Flame Tuesday, it's like I've mentioned, he's going through them too. Okay, he is definitely going through them too. Even though I know I have mine blocked, I feel it, I know it. But as I'm also experiencing certain healing through in aspects of myself, I'm like, I don't want him around while I'm healing this. You know, like over the summer, all the rape, the medical rape, you know, being, you know, threatened on us all really has been triggering, because I've had to heal so much of that. I couldn't tell you how many times I've been raped in my life. I couldn't tell you how many times I've been gang raped in my life. I don't know. It's not like I was keeping track. But you better believe I have the memories. I have the body trauma stored, right? And I definitely have not wanted, right? It's because I'm working at the deepest level that I've ever been of loving myself. And that's what the twin flame journey does, is it cracks you all the way open so you can do the deepest healing that you've ever known. So focus on you. Focus on this healing. Yeah. Oh. Do we have any final thoughts or, oh, that just jumped out of there. I hope you were able to catch that on the camera there. This just popped out in the most, like in the middle of the deck. Patience. Patience with you, patience with him, patience with the journey. But especially patience with you, because the depth, the capacity to which you express and display patience with yourself is the depth and capacity to which you have to do the same for others. Because you're really not going to be that patient with others if you're really not patient with yourself. That said, Goddess, today's Twin Flame Tuesday is about you honoring where you are, honoring the goddess that you are, and letting go of the things that are stressing you out, letting go of the things that you're holding on to, and just letting yourself be where you are. Discombobulated, unsure, uncertain, feeling like you're not who you were, but you're not quite who you're becoming. You just are. Let that be okay. All right? Because this is the thing that is creating that stability. What is, and this is a quote that's been coming up so much this past week or two, is the one is how How do you clear muddy water? Now I'm a farm kid, right? I grew up going cricking. I mean, we have a term for it out in the sticks. It's called cricking. Of course, we learned the hard way is sometimes you don't quite know what you're going to step on in the creek. And so we used to be allowed to use our old tennis shoes after we'd get new ones, which were always too small, right? But we'd wear our old tennis shoes to go traipsing through the creek. And we were cricking. And we'd stir up all the water and we would try so hard just to be like, oh my God, did you see what? Oh no, I can't see what it was. It's gone. And it was just all the mud, it just started swirling in the water. And it would take forever, it seemed, for that water to clear. But what would we as kids keep doing? We would take our sticks and we'd try digging whatever we thought we saw, and we would never find it because we would just keep burying it. We hadn't quite learned that lesson of allowing muddy water to be and then come back to it to see what we can see. And that's exactly what this is, Goddess. It's okay to be right where you are. It's okay if it feels like shit's hitting the fan and you don't know what your next move is. You don't know what's going on. You just well, what do? You throw your hands up and you declare, I trust, I surrender, I say yes, universe. Because all I know is I am not who I was. And I'm grateful for that. I know that this, where I am, is temporary. And I know that by my beating myself up or keeping myself in this lower vibrational state of being, that I am the one that's doing that. I'm the one that's making things more miserable for myself than what they actually need to be. Growing pains. It's part of the journey. And when you accept that and you say, you know what? I'm just going to give myself a day off today because I'm tired. And I just feel like curling up and crying. That's okay. Even if you do it the next day, but come that third day, you got to start really looking and going, wait a minute. But it's okay. Because you're processing shit. You are that muddy water that is being cleared. When things feel like they're crumbling and you feel discombobulated. It's just this, what I'm seeing in my mind is this integration, right? Is this the withering away of the old, but at the same time the new is coming into this place. So it's like there's this intricate work, like surgery, right? Like cellular surgery is being done on you right now, Goddess. Cellular, the very, very microscopic level and beyond, like not expanded, but further marginalized, or whatever the word would be, right? Just love yourself where you are, Goddess. That's what you're being asked. That's what it is to create this stability for yourself, is that you are anchored into your power of you. And nobody and nothing else is going to sway you from that. So, patience. Patience. Right? So practice patience by allowing yourself to be where you are. And see what tomorrow brings instead. Right? And in the meantime, make sure you bust a move. Drop it like it's hot, twerk it, all those fun things, right? All those fun things. Take delight in the little things. As you find yourself in this space. You can even be saying that I'm grateful that as long as I leave it alone, the muddy water is going to clear. I'm grateful for the clearing of muddy water. I'm grateful for the clearing of muddy water. Clarity. Clarity is coming. I am so grateful to be gaining more and more clarity on where I am and where I'm going, what my next move is, what my next bit of inspired action is. Okay. That said, Goddess, angel number 3333 is the number for today. Very amplified with growing pains on that puppy, which would definitely be a thing to trigger anger. I know when I'm in pain, be that physical pain, emotional pain, energetic pain, it seems, I can be a little cranky, just a little bit, okay? But again, it's about saying, but that's okay. You're allowed to be angry. It hurts, but just express it in a healthy way. That said, dear Goddess, thank you so much for joining me for this week's Twin Flame Tuesday. I will for sure see you for Thankful to Thrive Thursday. And I'm still working on those other videos that I mentioned last week would be published. Editing along with life. I've been there for a couple of soul sisters of mine the past couple weeks, and just all sorts of things. Just, I'm leading by example here, sister, in terms of what it is to allow yourself to be where you are and to stop judging, to honor and accept that where you are is exactly where you're supposed to be. Because if you were supposed to be anywhere else, you would be. That said, dear Goddess, I am here to remind you that the power is in your hands, the power to make it through, the power to create whatever life you desire, the power to facilitate these shifts, all of it, every bit of it, the goddess that you are, it's in your hands, because that power has always been inside you. Namaste.